over. So how do we, aside from Qigong, are there other ways to cultivate and, our chi?
I suppose this comes back to the idea of, many of the Western people are looking for wellness-oriented approaches these days. And that means we're moving away from the disease model where the treatment of disease, we see our health system in the West and we see much of the disease-oriented system focusing on if we don't have specific diseases or diseases they can measure in the blood and the urine, like taking parts of our body and measuring, then they can't really do a lot for us. They can bring us back to a point where we have no symptoms. But moving along to the right-hand end of the scale where we want to actually have higher levels of health and happiness and fulfillment and productivity, then we really need to use probably Eastern concepts to go towards that. And so Qigong is just one of them. So this is like what we would call in Chinese medicine using the 5 pillars, where you're not treating the body as separate parts. So in Western medicine is very good at doing this. So if you need to treat one part of the body very specifically, you can use Western medicine to target that part of the body. But then often you'll have side effects because of the holistic nature of the system. So we're moving a little bit away from that, many of us in the West, and we see the limitations of using that approach, and we use a wellness-oriented approach. If we don't want to target specific parts of the body, all we can really do is enhance the already self-regulating and self-producing parts of the body, which are what in Taoism we call the 5 noble activities, which are breathing.
What are those activities?
Breathing, resting and sleeping. Eating, exercise, and thinking. So all of these actually become 5 arts, and that's the things that you do every day.
I was going to say this, you do the 5 noble activities every day.
Exactly. It's about making them all function more efficiently. Them all function more efficiently, you're less likely to be in balance, and then you can sort of, what we would say, avoid disease or head towards the longevity nature. I mean, these Chinese systems are all about achieving health, longevity, immortality. So it's kind of the same continuum, but most of us are really just humble enough to try to achieve health or balance.
I'm very embarrassed to say, but I have never, ever practiced or learned any form of Qigong, as I'm sure many people at home have not. So this is an opportunity. I have 2 masters who can teach me some Qigong,
Sure.
Okay, not only me, but our viewers as well. So how should we get started in learning Qigong?
Usually we're learning some of the stances and how to stand properly and actually some of the more important tips on the breathing. So
all right.
A little bit of time.
Well, let me get this table taken away, and then we have to stand to do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, table and chairs will go away, and then we'll stand and we'll learn some Qigong. All right, I hope everybody at home is ready. Master Tan, we're ready for our first.
Okay, well let's just focus on these 8 treasures. I'll just teach you the first 2 of the treasures, okay? So the first one is with the feet together, okay? So the first thing when we start Qigong, just like in Taiji, we're always checking our connection with the earth, So what that means is where is the weight in the feet? If we have a tendency to stand there and our weight is mainly in the heels, then our head tends to tilt forward. So shifting the weight a little bit from the heels into the balls of the feet, just slightly, so you're standing up nice and straight. Okay? And you've got this, your back is straight, okay, you're looking directly out. Okay, and you're in this relaxed position. Remember, physical relaxation is very important in Qigong and Taiji. There may be the tension from the breathing, but the muscles must be relaxed. If the muscles are tense, the Qi doesn't flow. From this position, we take a position and look directly out, which will help with the balance. Hands come together, and so just a nice light clasping here. So what you're doing is you're just not too tight, not too loose here. Hands come up. This is called heavenly press, and pressing towards the heavens. Good. Coming down. So mirror image. So what you're doing is you're coming up, you're turning around the throat, you're pushing your hands directly up, feel the stretch, and coming down. So all of that time, remember, keeping relaxed in the hands. Now, the second part is coordinating the upper body with the lower body, just like we coordinate the breathing with the physical movements. So as we go up on the toes to the tippy toes, stretch, come down. As we come down slowly, our heels come to the ground, you see, and then you lock onto a position with your eyes, which will help the balance. The other thing is make sure that your hands go directly up. you know, if they're here, well, you're going to step forward, right? So making sure that you're in one line from this position and also in one line from this position
I don't find it that easy to relax and be able to be on
Yeah, that's just when you're first starting. Yeah, so this is actually, think about the strength building in the calves and so on as well. So the lower body has this stance tension. We're often doing work. We'll do this in a moment. But the upper body should be very relaxed, like a tree, right?
So my leg muscles can be tense when I do that. Well, obviously, because to raise.
Yeah, they're raising, and also like even when you correct your position, you'll feel the butt getting a little bit tighter in that sense, right? Because of the position is better in the upper body. The second one is actually going to be in the horse stance. So we practice this movement in the horse stance itself. So we want to transition the weight. We don't want to shift the weight too heavily here. Just like in Taiji, we want to shift the weight very smooth transition. Yeah? Remember, feet to begin with, shoulder width apart. You can have your feet facing forward, knees slightly bent, so the knees end up over the top of the toes. Pushing and thinking about making it fairly even towards the outsides of the feet, feeling very grounded. Open the stance. That's better. See how the knees come out above the toes? It sort of makes it a little bit tougher in the quads, you sometimes feel.
I can feel it.
Yeah. And also what it does, it tucks the tailbone under a little bit. Yeah? So it's kind of like open the stance a little, because you don't want to be standing with your bum out so much, right? Just open the stance a little, and then thinking about your center of gravity, trying to lower that into around what we call the qi hai or dan tian, right? The sea of qi, or the low energy.
Master Zhang, how long can you stand in this position for? You think?
I don't know exactly. I can keep, because I can do even harder, lower than this. So when I do this,
yeah, show me.
This is easy.
This is easy. So show us when you do the wide stance, where a lower stance.
a lower stance.
In these positions, yeah.
Right.
So this is a much more difficult stance, especially for a beginner. But he can stand like this for some time, and then you would do, you know, these are standard training in Shaolin style. So once we're standing in this position, once we have this all correct, what we're going to do is we're going to be shooting a bow and arrow. Yeah? It's called shooting a vulture, or the Taoist archer. So pushing and pulling to here, staying centered and relaxing. The head turns to the right-hand side. Hands come up. This will feel much more unfamiliar for you here.
Yeah.
Pulling and
not
pushing. You're not an archer. And pushing down like this. So the head becomes independent. It looks where you're going to fire. The head stays still. The hands move and then relax. Head goes into the new position. And continue. And continue like this. Elbow up. And pulling across the chest. That's right. Staying centered. See how you're just moving the body a little bit? So in the movement, we're not moving. We're just staying centered. The pushing and the pulling is like opening up your chest. Yeah? This exercise is particularly good for the liver. Okay? So each exercise is designed around a meridian or an organ system, we could say. Yeah? So what we'll do is...
You guys look so graceful and...
It just takes time. You know, we've been doing this many years.
You know, I have to tell you, it feels really good to stretch, do that.
Yeah.
what does it is? It means that you with arrow, like
Am I doing this right?
Yeah. So let's go. From here, we come down.
Okay,
Just for example, we come down from here, we would finish. The first is the head looks to the left. The second is you step. Yeah. The third is your hands come up. And then we would breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep breathing out, breathe in.
All right. Well, I feel like we could talk about this for hours. Unfortunately, our time is up for us today. But next week, we're going to focus from Qigong to the Wushu aspect, or focus of our show. And to just get our viewers a little bit excited about next week, I'm going to ask Mr. Zhang for you to do a quick teaser for us. Yeah? Okay, all right. We'll stand back. We probably need some room. Okay, that's all the time we have this week to talk about Qigong, but next week we're going to turn the focus from Qigong to Wushu. So hopefully that was a good teaser for you. Join us next week because it's going to get even better. Thank you, Master Zhang. Thank you, Alex. Thank you to our viewers at home. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.